You know you've got a staring problem, right? The bar slipped in my hands. Not enough to drop it. Just enough for the new guy standing beside the bench to notice, which was somehow worse. I looked up at him through the mirror first, because looking at him directly felt like losing. He was leaning against the rack like he'd been invited into my life. Dark gray hoodie, black shorts, one hand wrapped around a water bottle, brown hair pushed back like he'd run his fingers through it too many times. And that smile, that annoying, easy smile that made it hard to decide if he was joking or calling me out. I wasn't staring, I said. He glanced behind him, then back at me. So you were watching the dumbbells emotionally? I should have hated him right there. Honestly, I tried. My gym was the one place where people usually left me alone. Same time every night. Same locker. Same treadmill for warm-up. Same corner near the cable machines where nobody bothered me unless they needed a clip or a spot. I liked it that way. Work was loud. My phone was loud. My brain was loud. The gym was simple. Lift the weight. Breathe. Put it down. Repeat. Then Noah Bennett walked in on a Monday and ruined the whole system. I didn't know his name yet. Not then. At first, he was just the new guy who kept asking questions he probably already knew the answers to. Is anyone using this? He asked, tapping the cable machine beside me, even though there was no towel, no bottle, no person anywhere near it. No, I put one earbud back in. Universal sign for please disappear. He didn't. Cool. How do you adjust the height on this thing? I stared at the pin right in front of him. He followed my eyes, then grinned. Okay, yeah. I saw it. I nodded once and went back to my set. That should have been it. But 2 minutes later, he was beside me again. You know if this place gets crowded after 7? Sometimes. You always come around this time? My hand tightened around the handle. Usually. Good to know. I looked at him then. Fully. Mistake. His eyes were warmer up close. Hazel maybe. With this little crease at the corner like he smiled too much for his own good. He didn't look embarrassed about bothering me. He looked comfortable. Like we were already in the middle of a conversation I didn't remember agreeing to. I'm Noah, by the way. Ethan. Ethan. He repeated, like he was testing how it sounded. My chest did something stupid. I hated that. I gave him a short nod and turned away again. For the next 40 minutes, Noah somehow appeared everywhere. Near the dumbbells when I was doing curls. At the water fountain when I refilled my bottle. Beside the stretching mats when I was pretending not to check if he had left. He hadn't. And the worst part was, he wasn't even doing anything wrong. He was friendly. That was all. A little too friendly. A little too close. A little too good at making normal questions feel like they had something under them. When I finished my last set, he walked past and tapped the side of my bench with 2 fingers. See you tomorrow, staring guy. I scoffed before I could stop myself. Don't count on it. Noah kept walking backward for 1 step, smiling like he'd already won something. I will, though. I watched him disappear toward the locker room, then immediately looked away like someone had caught me. My pulse was still too fast, and I told myself it was the workout. It was the caffeine. It was anything except him. The next night, I got to the gym at the same time like always. I told myself I wasn't looking for him. I told myself that twice. Then I walked past the cable machines, and there he was, leaning against the exact same rack, wearing that same impossible smile. Hey, Ethan. My stomach dropped. And the stupidest part was, I liked hearing my name in his mouth. By Wednesday, I started wearing both earbuds, even when nothing was playing. It was not mature. I know that. But Noah had this way of slipping into my space like gravity had personally invited him, and I needed some kind of defense. Music. Fake music. Anything. I was halfway through lap pull-downs when his reflection appeared behind me in the mirror. Of course it did. He lifted one hand in a lazy wave. I pretended not to see him, which would have worked better if I had not immediately missed the rhythm of my own set. The handle jerked slightly. My shoulders tensed. Noah's smile faded just a little. Not gone. Just softer. He stepped closer, close enough that I caught the clean smell of his soap under the rubber and metal of the gym. You are pulling too much with your arms. I let the weight stack drop with a loud clank. Good morning to you too. It is 7:15 at night. Then good night. He laughed under his breath, and I hated how quickly my body reacted to it. Like it recognized the sound before I gave it permission. Noah pointed at the machine. Try again. Slower. Are you a trainer? No, then why are you training me? His mouth twitched. Because watching you fight gym equipment is stressing me out. I should have told him to go away. I really should have. Instead, I rolled my eyes and grabbed the bar again. Fine. One expert demonstration from the new guy. Noah moved behind me, not touching yet. Somehow that was worse. He stood just off my shoulder, eyes flicking from my hands to my back in the mirror. Chest up a little. Yeah. Now pull with your elbows. I did. The movement felt different. Cleaner. Less forced. I hated that he was right. See? His voice dropped, quiet enough that it felt like it was only for me. You do not have to make everything so hard. My fingers tightened around the bar. For a second, I stopped breathing. Because there was no reason for that sentence to hit me in the chest like it knew something. I looked at him in the mirror. He was already looking at me. Not smiling this time. Just watching. A little too carefully. A little too long. Then someone dropped a plate across the room, the crash breaking whatever weird thing had formed between us. Noah blinked first and stepped back. Sorry. I get annoying about form. You get annoying about a lot of things. The words came out before I could soften them. But Noah did not look offended. He looked pleased, which was incredibly irritating. So you have noticed. I stood up and reached for my towel, but he reached at the same time to move his bottle off the bench. Our hands bumped. Barely. Knuckles against knuckles. Nothing dramatic. Nothing anyone else would have even seen. But my whole arm went stupidly still. Noah did not pull away right away. Neither did I. It lasted maybe 1 second. Maybe less. Long enough for my pulse to jump. Long enough for his eyes to drop to our hands and back to my face. Then I grabbed my towel too fast and nearly knocked my phone off the bench. Smooth. Shut up. I shoved the towel around my neck and walked toward the dumbbells like leaving first meant winning. Noah followed, because apparently that was his new hobby. Do you always come here alone? The question was casual. Too casual. I picked up a pair of weights, mostly to have something to do with my hands. Usually. No workout buddy. No boyfriend. The dumbbell almost slipped. Not all the way. Just enough to make my stomach drop and my grip tighten hard around the handle. Noah noticed. Of course he noticed. His expression changed, but only for half a second. Like he had not meant to throw the question that directly. I mean, he added, rubbing the back of his neck. Someone who gets mad when strangers steal your gym time. I stared at him. No boyfriend. No workout buddy. His smile came back slowly. That was not the question. Heat climbed up my neck. I looked away first, because apparently I had self-respect, but not enough. You ask everybody this many questions? Noah, pause. Just you. That should not have meant anything. It probably did not. Noah was friendly. Noah was bored. Noah was new and needed someone to talk to. That was all. That was what I told myself while he stood beside me, close enough that our shoulders almost touched in the mirror. But when I finished my set, he handed me my water bottle before I even reached for it. You always forget to drink. My chest tightened. You have known me 3 days. And yet, he tilted the bottle toward me. Drink, Ethan. I took it because my hands needed somewhere to go. Because he remembered. Because he said my name like it belonged in his mouth. And when I looked up, Noah was watching me again, not teasing this time. Just quiet. Like he was trying to figure out whether I wanted him closer or farther away. The problem was, I had no idea anymore. On Friday, I changed my gym time. I told myself it had nothing to do with Noah. That was a lie, but at least it was a quiet one. I showed up at 8 instead of 7:15, parked near the back, and sat in my car for a full minute like a grown man hiding from a golden retriever with biceps. This is stupid, I muttered to myself. Then I went inside anyway. For the first 20 minutes, it worked. No Noah by the cable machines. No Noah at the water fountain. No Noah leaning against anything with that stupid half-smile like he had personally caught me doing something embarrassing. The gym felt normal again. Predictable. Safe. And somehow completely wrong. I hated how often I looked toward the entrance. I hated the little drop in my chest every time the door opened, and it was not him. I hated that I had spent 3 days calling him annoying, and now the absence of him was louder than the music in my headphones. By the time I got a shoulder press, I was irritated for no reason. My first set was sloppy. My second was worse. I set the dumbbells down harder than I meant to. The guy on the next bench glanced over. Great. Now I was angry and dramatic. I grabbed my towel and headed for the water fountain, and that was when the front door opened. Noah walked in wearing a black hoodie darkened at the shoulders from rain, hair damp, gym bag hanging off one side. He stopped near the desk, scanned the room once, and found me way too fast. His eyebrows lifted. Not surprised exactly. More like amused. like he had solved the puzzle. My stomach did that stupid thing again. I looked away first. Obviously, I went back to my bench and pretended the water bottle in my hand had suddenly become very interesting. A minute later, Noah dropped his bag beside the rack across from me. Not right next to me. Close enough to be noticed. Far enough to pretend it was random. Late night. His voice slid through the space between us. I did not look up. Traffic. You live 6 minutes away. That made my hand freeze on the cap of my bottle. Slowly, I turned. Noah was stretching his wrists, eyes down, mouth trying not to smile. How do you know that? You told me what neighborhood you live in. I did not tell you my address. Relax, Ethan. I am not stalking you. I just know Denver traffic is not that bad between here and 6 blocks west. He glanced up then, and the look on his face was too pleased. Too gentle. Too much. So. I crossed my arms. So what? You changed your time. No, I did not. Behind him, the digital clock on the wall glowed 8:22 like a traitor. Noah looked at it, then at me. He did not call me out. He did not have to. That was worse. Okay. He nodded once, picking up a dumbbell. Must be a coincidence. I should have let it die there. But my mouth, apparently tired of protecting me, opened. You notice everybody's schedule? Noah's hand paused around the weight. For once, he did not answer right away. The silence stretched just long enough for the air between us to change. He looked at me through the mirror instead of turning around. No, one word. Quiet. Not a joke. My chest tightened so fast it actually annoyed me. I wanted him to grin after that. I wanted him to ruin it with something dumb. But he just kept looking at me, like the answer was supposed to sit there between us and do whatever damage it wanted. I looked away. That is weird. His smile came back, but softer. You say that a lot when you do not know what to do. I laughed once, fake and sharp. You have known me for 4 days. And yet, there it was again. That tiny phrase. That stupid confidence. He started his set like he had not just reached inside my head and moved things around. I tried to keep working out, but every part of me felt too aware. The mirror, his reflection, the space between our benches. The fact that he was not coming closer this time. Somehow that bothered me more. When I finished, I grabbed my bag and headed for the locker room. Fast. Too fast. I made it halfway down the hall before Noah caught up. Not rushing. Just matching my pace. Ethan. I stopped near the vending machines. Bad idea. The hallway was narrower there, quieter, away from the main floor. His hoodie smelled like rain and clean laundry. What? Noah looked at me for a second, really looked, and the teasing dropped out of his face. I can back off if I am bothering you. My answer should have been easy. Yes. Please. Leave me alone. Let my gym be normal again. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Noah's gaze flicked over my face, like he saw the answer I could not say. Okay, he murmured. Good to know. Then he stepped around me and walked toward the locker room, leaving me standing there with my heart pounding and no excuse for it. Because the truth was suddenly impossible to ignore. I did not want him to leave me alone. Not really. And that scared me more than anything he had done. The next time I saw Noah, he did exactly what he said he would do. He backed off. No way from across the gym. No dumb comment near the cable machines. No sudden appearance beside the water fountain like he had been summoned by my bad decisions. He was there, obviously. Same hoodie. Same easy posture. Same stupidly distracting face. But he stayed on the other side of the gym and let me have my space. Which was considerate, mature, respectful. I hated it. By the end of my warm-up, I was already irritated. By the time I got to the bench, I was pretending not to watch him laugh with some guy near the squat racks. The guy was named Mason, I think. Loud voice. Backward cap. One of those gym regulars who treated every conversation like there was an audience. Noah laughed at something Mason said, head tilting back for half a second, and my chest tightened in a way I refused to name. Jealousy would have been insane. I had known Noah for less than a week. He was not mine. He was not even my friend, technically. He was just the new guy who annoyed me. The new guy who stopped annoying me because I acted like I wanted that. I was halfway through re-racking my weights when Mason called across the room. Yo, Noah. Your boyfriend is done with the bench. Every muscle in my body went still. A couple guys nearby glanced over. Not in a huge way. Just enough. Enough to make heat crawl up the back of my neck. Noah's smile disappeared for a second. His eyes cut to me first, not Mason. Like he cared more about my reaction than the joke. I forced a laugh that sounded terrible even to me. Real original. Mason grinned. Come on, man. He follows you around all week. I am just saying what everybody is thinking. Noah walked over then, slower than usual. Careful. His face was calm, but his jaw was tight. Drop it, Mason. Mason lifted both hands. Relax. I am messing with you. I know. Noah's voice stayed even. Still. Drop it. That should not have done anything to me. It was basic decency. Bare minimum. But something about the way he stood there, between Mason's stupid grin and my burning face, made my stomach twist. Like he had noticed I was uncomfortable before I even figured out how to hide it. Mason wandered off, still laughing under his breath. The noise of the gym filled the space again. Plates clanking. Music thumping faintly. Someone counting reps too loud near the dumbbells. Noah looked at me. You good? I grabbed my towel off the bench. Fine. His eyebrows lifted a little. Not buying it. Ethan. I said I am fine. I moved past him toward the hallway, because leaving was easier than standing there while my face betrayed me. I made it into the locker room before realizing he had followed. Not close. Just enough. The room was quieter than usual, only one shower running in the back, steam curling faintly near the ceiling vents. I opened my locker too hard. The metal door banged against the side. Smooth. Very normal. Noah stopped at the locker beside mine. Of course. Because apparently the universe had a cruel sense of humor. I am sorry about Mason. You did not say it. No, but I brought attention to you all week. I shoved my earbuds into my bag. You mean by not leaving me alone? His mouth twitched, but he did not smile all the way. Yeah, that. I wanted to say something sharp. Something that put us back on safe ground. But he was standing too close, and the room was too quiet, and my heart was still beating like I had sprinted there. Why did you? The question slipped out before I could stop it. Noah's hand paused on the zipper of his gym bag. Why did I what? I looked at him then. Really looked. Why would you not leave me alone? For once, he had no quick answer. His eyes held mine, and something shifted in his face. The teasing softened. The confidence cracked just enough for me to see nerves underneath. At first, his voice was lower now. Because you looked like you wanted everyone to disappear. My throat went dry. That does not answer the question. Noah stepped a little closer. Not much. Barely half a step. But in that narrow space between lockers, it felt like everything. Then because you kept looking at me like you hated that I came back. My fingers curled around the edge of my locker door. Maybe I did. Maybe. His gaze dropped for a second to my hand, then back to my face. But you never told me to stop. The air went still. I could hear water dripping somewhere. One slow drop after another. Noah's hand lifted, like he was going to touch my wrist, but he stopped before he did. Just hovered there. Close enough that I felt the warmth without contact. My whole body locked up, waiting for something I was terrified to want. Do you want me to stop? He murmured. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Again, Noah's eyes searched mine, and for one crazy second, I thought he was going to close the distance. Not fully. Not some dramatic movie moment. Just enough to make the question real. Then the locker room door swung open behind us, and two guys came in laughing about a basketball game. Noah stepped back instantly. I turned toward my locker like I had been doing something normal. Like my pulse was not wrecked. Like his almost touch was not still burning over my skin. Noah grabbed his bag, but before he left, he leaned just close enough for only me to hear. You do not have to answer tonight. Then he walked out, leaving me staring at my open locker, realizing the dangerous part was not that he had asked. It was that I already knew the answer. By Monday, the gym knew. Not everything. Not the truth. But enough to make it feel like every mirror had started watching us. It began near the front desk while I was checking in. The girl behind the counter, Kayla, scanned my tag and gave me this tiny smile that immediately made me suspicious. Your friend is already here. I paused with one hand on my gym bag. My friend. She nodded toward the free weights. Tall guy? Hoodie. Looks like he is always waiting for someone, but pretending he is not. My stomach dropped so fast, I almost forgot how to stand like a normal person. He is not waiting for me. Kayla's smile got worse. Sure. I walked away before my face could do anything embarrassing. Across the room, Noah was stretching beside a bench, head down, earbuds in, acting casual. Too casual. But the second I stepped onto the floor, his eyes lifted. Found me immediately. My chest tightened. I hated that I liked it. I hated that after the locker room, after that almost touch and that impossible question, all I had done for 2 days was replay his voice in my head. Do you want me to stop? I still had not answered. Noah did not come over right away. He gave me space, which should have helped. Instead, it made every inch between us feel intentional. I started my workout alone. Cable rows, dumbbell press, anything that let me face the mirror without looking like I was looking for him. 5 minutes later, Mason appeared beside Noah, loud enough for half the gym to hear. "Man, you are down bad." Noah pulled one earbud out. His face stayed neutral, but his shoulders tightened. "What?" Mason nodded toward me. I pretended to adjust the weight on my machine, even though I was listening so hard my pulse kicked up. "You keep checking the door like your prom date is late." A couple guys laughed. Not cruel exactly. Just that careless guy laughter that still managed to hit the wrong place. Noah glanced at me. Our eyes met in the mirror for half a second. Then I looked away. Too fast. Mason kept going. "I am just saying, if you are going to follow him around, at least ask him out like a normal person." The handle slipped in my grip. The weights clanked. Noah stood up slowly. "You done?" "Relax. It is a joke." "Yeah, you said that last time." Noah's voice was calm, but there was an edge under it now. The kind that made the guys around him go quiet. "Find a new one." I should have felt protected. And I did. That was the problem. Because protection felt too close to being cared about, and being cared about in public felt dangerous. Especially there. In a gym full of men who turned everything into a joke before it could become honest. I grabbed my towel and headed toward the hallway. Noah followed after a few seconds, not rushing, not calling my name. Just there. We ended up near the vending machines again. The same narrow stretch of space where he had almost touched me before. "Ethan." I stared at the protein bars behind the glass like they were suddenly fascinating. "You do not have to keep defending me." "I know." "Then why do it?" He exhaled softly, looking down at the floor for a second. When he looked back up, the teasing was gone. "Because you get this look." My throat tightened. "What look?" "Like you are waiting for everyone to decide something is wrong with you." The words landed too clean. Too close. I laughed once, but there was no humor in it. "You do not know me that well." Noah did not argue. He just stepped a little closer, careful enough that I noticed the effort. "I know that look." That stopped me. For a second, the noise from the gym faded into a dull blur behind us. "What does that mean?" Noah's jaw flexed. His eyes flicked past me, toward the open gym floor, toward Mason, toward everyone who might look over at the wrong time. And for the first time since I met him, Noah seemed less confident than tired. "It means I know what it feels like to have guys turn you into a punchline before they even understand what they are joking about." I did not know what to say. My chest felt tight in a way that had nothing to do with lifting. Noah gave me a small smile, but it did not reach his eyes. "Anyway, I will stay out of your way tonight." He started to leave. Panic hit me before logic did. I reached out and caught his sleeve. Barely. Just 2 fingers around soft black cotton. Noah stopped instantly. His gaze dropped to my hand, then lifted to my face. The hallway went quiet between us. My hand should have let go. It did not. "You are not in my way," I said. It came out low, almost rough. Noah stared at me like he was afraid to believe it. Then Mason's laugh carried from the weight floor, sharp and loud, and I let go like I had been burned. Noah noticed. Of course he did. Something closed off in his expression. Not anger. Not hurt exactly. More like he had just remembered where we were. "Okay." He nodded once. "Got it, Noah." But he was already stepping back. "It is fine, Ethan." It was not fine. I could hear it in his voice. He walked back onto the gym floor, and for the first time, he did not look at me again. I stood there with my fingers still curled from where I had held his sleeve, realizing the pressure was not just coming from Mason or the jokes or the mirrors. It was coming from me. Because every time Noah got close enough to be real, I was the one who let go. For the next 15 minutes, Noah treated me like any other guy at the gym. A nod when I passed. A polite half-smile near the dumbbells. Nothing sharp. Nothing warm. Nothing that belonged only to me. I hated it so much I almost laughed. This was what I had wanted, right? Normal. Safe. No Mason jokes. No hallway almost confessions. No fingers on sleeves. No standing close enough to forget how air worked. But normal felt terrible. I finished a set of rows and saw Noah across the floor re-racking plates harder than he needed to. Not angry. Just distracted. His jaw was tight. His earbuds were in, but the cord had slipped loose from one ear, hanging against his hoodie. He was not listening to music. He was pretending to. That should not have made my chest ache. It did. I wiped my hands on my shorts and walked over before I could talk myself out of it. Are we doing this now? Noah looked up from the bar. His expression gave nothing away. Doing what? Acting like strangers. His eyes flicked over my face. Quiet. Careful. I thought that was what you wanted. I swallowed. The gym noise moved around us. Plates clanking, shoes squeaking, some guy laughing too loud near the machines. It felt impossible to say anything real in the middle of all that. I did not say that. You keep not saying a lot of things. That hit harder than I expected. I looked down, because he was right and I hated that too. Noah took a breath, then glanced toward Mason across the room. Mason was watching, of course. Not fully staring. Just enough. Noah saw it. So did I? His shoulders shifted, like he was about to step back again. Before he could, I grabbed the end of the bar between us. Not touching him, just holding on to something solid. Can we talk somewhere else? Noah's eyes changed. Not relief exactly. More like he had been bracing for a door to close, and it did not. Yeah. We ended up in the small stretching room near the back. It was empty except for rolled mats, resistance bands, and a fan clicking softly in the corner. Still public. Still safe. But quieter. Noah shut the door halfway, not all the way, and for some reason that small choice made my throat tighten. He was always careful when it mattered. I stood by the wall, suddenly aware I had no plan. Noah leaned against the shelf of mats, arms crossed loose over his chest. You wanted to talk. I know. Strong start. I huffed a laugh before I could stop myself. His mouth twitched, but the smile faded fast. The silence came back. Heavy, but not empty. I rubbed both hands over my face. Mason gets in my head. Noah's expression softened. Yeah, I figured. It is not just him. My voice came out quieter. It is this place. The mirrors. The guys. The jokes. I do not know. I looked at him. I am not good at being watched. Noah did not move for a second. Then he nodded slowly, like he understood more than I had said. Me neither. I almost laughed. You? You talk to everybody. That does not mean I want everybody seeing me. The way he said it made the room feel smaller. Less like a gym. More like a confession neither of us had planned. Noah looked down at his hands. When Mason said that stuff, I should have walked away earlier. I know how guys like him are. They push until someone flinches. His eyes lifted to mine. I did not want you to be the one flinching. My chest tightened. Why? He let out a slow breath, almost annoyed with himself. Because it is you. 3 words. Simple. No joke after them. No safety net. My pulse started pounding. Noah. I know. He looked away, then back again, and this time the nerves were right there on his face. I know I come on strong. I know I make stupid jokes when I do not know what else to do. But I was not joking in the locker room. My fingers went still against my palm. About stopping. About not wanting to. The fan clicked once. Twice. I could hear my own breathing. Noah pushed off the shelf, but only a little. Still leaving space. When you grabbed my sleeve earlier, I thought. He stopped, jaw working like the words were harder than lifting anything outside. I thought maybe I was not crazy. I stared at him. My heart felt too big for my ribs. You are not crazy. His eyes searched mine. Then what am I? I should have had an answer. Something clean. Something brave. Instead, all I could do was stand there, caught between fear and wanting. Noah smiled faintly, but it was shaky. Yeah, he murmured. That is kind of where I am too. And for the first time, it was clear. Whatever this was, whatever stupid, terrifying thing had been building between us, I was not the only one losing sleep over it. The problem with hearing someone admit they were scared too is that it should make things easier. It did not. It made everything too real. Noah and I left the stretching room like 2 people trying very hard not to look like we had just said something honest. He held the door for me. I walked through. Our shoulders almost brushed. Neither of us made a joke. That was how I knew we were in trouble. Back on the gym floor, the lights felt brighter, the mirrors sharper, the space between machines more exposed than before. Mason was still near the free weights, talking too loud with 2 other guys. Kayla was wiping down the front desk. A couple of regulars moved around us like nothing had changed. For them, nothing had. For me, every sound felt like a reminder that we were not in some private bubble. We were just 2 guys in a public gym, standing too close and pretending not to shake. Noah picked up his bag. I should probably head out. My stomach tightened before I could stop it. Yeah, sure. His eyes flicked to mine. I am not leaving because of what we talked about. I did not say you were. You got quiet. I am always quiet. That almost made him smile. Almost. But then his phone buzzed on the bench between us. He glanced down, and I saw the screen light up with a name. Tyler. Under it, a message preview. Still meeting up tonight? Something cold moved through my chest. I looked away fast, like I had seen something private, which I had. Noah grabbed the phone and turned it face down, but the damage was already done. It is not. He stopped himself, then rubbed the back of his neck. It is just a friend from my old gym. I nodded too quickly. You do not have to explain. Ethan. Seriously. We are not. I hated how the sentence died. We were not what? Dating? Friends? Strangers? Two guys who almost answered a question in a stretching room with the door half open? Noah's face changed. Not a lot. Just enough for me to know I had stepped wrong. Right. He slipped the phone into his hoodie pocket. We are not. I wanted to take it back, but Mason laughed from across the room, and someone dropped a dumbbell, and suddenly I felt watched again. Judged by people who did not even know there was anything to judge. My chest closed up. I just mean you can do whatever you want. Noah looked at me for a long second. Can I? The question was quiet. Too quiet. I had no answer. He nodded once, like my silence had given him one anyway. I will see you around, Ethan. Not tomorrow. Not later. Around. The word landed badly. He walked toward the locker room without waiting for me, and I stood there feeling like an idiot with a towel in my hand and my heart somewhere near my throat. I told myself I had done the right thing. Slowed it down. Kept it normal. Avoided making a mess out of the only place in my week that still made sense. But when I got home, normal did not feel like a victory. It felt like sitting alone on my couch, staring at my phone, wondering if Tyler was funny. Wondering if Noah was laughing with him somewhere. Wondering why I cared when I had been the one to draw the line. At 11:27, my phone buzzed. For one embarrassing second, I hoped it was Noah. It was Kayla from the gym, because we had exchanged numbers months ago for a group fitness challenge I never finished. Her message was simple. You okay? You looked rough leaving tonight. I typed 3 different lies and deleted all of them. Before I could answer, another message came through. Also, Noah asked if you got home safe. My heart stopped, then started again, harder. I stared at the screen until the words blurred a little. He had left because I pushed him. He had backed off because I made him. And still, he checked. I should have felt relieved. Instead, all I could think was that Noah was learning how to stop reaching for me. And I was terrified he might actually get good at it. The next night, I almost did not go to the gym. I sat in my car outside the building for 10 minutes with my hands on the steering wheel, watching people walk in like they were not stepping into the scene of my emotional breakdown. Dramatic, but true. My phone was in the cup holder. Kayla's message was still open. Noah asked if you got home safe. I read it again, even though I had memorized it. Then I got out of the car before I could drive home like a coward. Inside, Noah was not by the free weights. Not by the cable machines. Not near the front desk. For one horrible second, I thought he had finally decided this was not worth it. Then I saw him through the glass wall of the stretching room, sitting on one of the mats, elbows on his knees, staring down at his phone without really looking at it. The door was half open. Same as before. Careful. Always giving me a way out. I hated that it made me want to walk in. So I did. Noah looked up when my shoes stopped near the doorway. His expression shifted fast. Surprise first. Then caution. Hey. I gripped the strap of my gym bag. Hey. There was a pause. Too much space. Too much pretending. I stepped inside and let the door stay open behind me. You asked Kayla if I got home safe. His jaw moved slightly, like he had not expected that to be the first thing out of my mouth. Yeah. Why? Noah looked down at his hands. Because you left looking like you were about to disappear into your own head. That was too accurate, so I got defensive. Obviously. You could have texted me. His eyes lifted. I did not know if I was allowed to. The words hit harder than they should have. I swallowed. Allowed. Yeah. He stood, slowly, like sudden movement might scare me off. Because every time I get close, you pull me in for half a second, then act like I crossed a line I was trying really hard not to cross. My chest tightened. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say that was not fair. But the worst thing was, it was fair. Noah took one small step closer, then stopped, still leaving space. I am not mad, Ethan. I am just confused. I laughed once under my breath, tired and embarrassed. That makes 2 of us. His face softened. Then say that. I looked at the floor, at the edge of the mat, at anything but him. I do not know how to do this. Do what? This. I gestured between us, messy and useless. You. Me. Guys making comments. People noticing. Feeling like I am being watched every second. Wanting you around, and then panicking when other people see it. My voice got quieter at the end. I am not proud of it. Noah did not fill the silence right away. He just stood there, hands loose at his sides, eyes steady on me. Not pushing, not saving me from the words. Letting them be real. I do not need you to be proud right away. That almost broke something in me. I looked up. What do you need? Noah breathed out slowly. His smile was small and tired. For you to stop acting like I am imagining this. The fan clicked in the corner. Once. Twice. I could hear the muffled thud of weights through the wall. My mouth went dry. You are not. His eyes held mine. No. I shook my head. Barely. No, Noah's shoulders dropped like he had been holding tension there for days. Okay. One word, but it changed the whole room. I took a breath that did not feel like enough. When I saw that message from Tyler, I got weird. His brows pulled together. He is married. To a woman named Emily. They have a golden retriever that has more Instagram followers than both of us. I blinked. Noah's mouth twitched. I told you he was a friend. Heat rushed up my neck. I know. Did you think I was leaving to meet some guy? I thought maybe you had options. That slipped out too honestly. Noah stared at me for a second. Then his expression softened in a way that made my chest hurt. Ethan. I looked away, but he stepped closer. Just one step. I was standing in front of you. I did not move. I know. No, I mean. He stopped, searching for the words. I have been standing in front of you all week. The silence after that felt different. Not empty. Not awkward. Full. Noah lifted his hand slowly, giving me every chance to step back. I did not. His fingers touched mine. Light. Careful. Just the side of his hand against mine. It was nothing and everything. My pulse jumped, but this time I did not let go. Noah looked down at our hands, then back at me. Is this okay? I nodded once. My voice came out rough. Yeah. His fingers curled around mine, not tight. Just enough. The kind of touch nobody else would notice unless they were looking for it. The kind that felt louder than anything we had said. I let myself hold on for 3 whole seconds before fear tried to crawl back in. But Noah squeezed once, gentle and steady, like he felt it happen. We can go slow, he murmured. I looked at him then. Really looked. You are terrible at going slow. He smiled for the first time all night. For you, I can try. I should have made a joke. I should have pulled away. Instead, I stayed there with my hand in his. The gym noise muffled behind the wall, and finally admitted the thing I had been dodging since Monday. I do not want you to leave me alone. Noah's smile faded into something softer. Good, he whispered. Because I really do not want to. The funny thing is, nothing dramatic happened after that. No big speech. No slow motion moment. No sudden music like my life had turned into some streaming romance show. Noah and I just stood in that half-open stretching room, holding hands like it was both brand new and long overdue. Then someone outside yelled, "Who left their towel on the bench?" And the real world came crashing back in. I laughed first. Quiet. Nervous. Noah looked down at our hands, then at me. Still okay? I nodded. Still okay. He smiled like that actually meant something to him. Maybe it did. Maybe that was the first lesson. Not every brave thing had to be loud. Sometimes it was just not pulling away. We went back onto the gym floor together. Not hand in hand. I was not there yet. Noah did not push. He just walked beside me, close enough that our shoulders nearly brushed, and somehow that felt even more honest because I had chosen it. Mason saw us from the bench press. Of course he did. His mouth opened like he had some joke ready, but Noah looked at him once. Not angry, just calm. Mason shut his mouth and went back to his set. I should have felt embarrassed. I thought I would, but something inside me stayed steady. Maybe because Noah did not move away from me. Maybe because I did not move away from him either. We finished a short workout that barely counted as a workout. I kept messing up my reps because every time Noah smiled at me in the mirror, my brain forgot numbers existed. He noticed. Obviously. You are going to blame me for that, aren't you? I wiped my face with my towel. You are distracting. His eyebrows lifted. That sounded dangerously close to a compliment. Do not get used to it. Too late. And there it was again. That easy rhythm. The teasing. The warmth. The difference was, I stopped pretending I hated it. After we changed, Noah waited by the front doors with his gym bag over one shoulder. Outside, The parking lot was slick from earlier rain, streetlights reflecting off the pavement. Normal. Ordinary. The same view I had seen 100 times after late workouts. Except Noah was standing in it now, and that made everything feel slightly shifted. He nodded toward the coffee shop across the street, the one that stayed open too late for college students and people avoiding their apartments. Protein shake. I looked at him. Coffee. His smile softened. Coffee. We stepped outside together. Halfway across the parking lot, his hand brushed mine. Once. Accidentally, maybe. Then again. Not accidentally. My heart kicked hard, but I did not pull away. Noah looked over, quiet question in his eyes. I answered by letting my fingers touch his. Just enough. He took my hand slowly, like he was giving me time to change my mind. I did not. No one cheered. No one cared. A car rolled past. Someone laughed near the entrance. The world kept moving, which was weirdly comforting. I used to think the gym was the place I went to keep my life under control. Same time. Same locker. Same routine. Nothing unexpected. Nobody too close. Then Noah showed up and ruined all of that. Or maybe he did not ruin it. Maybe he just made me realize I had been calling loneliness peace because it felt safer. At the crosswalk, Noah squeezed my hand once. You good? I looked at him, at the damp hair near his forehead, at the nervous hope he was still trying to hide, at the guy who had annoyed me until I missed him when he stopped. Yeah. I squeezed back. I am good. He smiled, and this time I did not look away. We crossed the street together, hand in hand, toward bad coffee and fluorescent lights and whatever came next. I did not know what we were yet. I did not need a label that night. All I knew was that when Noah reached for me, I stayed. And for once, staying felt like the strongest thing I had ever done.